Hello, my name is Shelly Hershkovitz. I'm a product manager in Google Cloud at Apogee, and I'll talk to you about how can you avoid the next API security headline. We're going to talk about why security, why now, why Apogee and Advanced API security, and I'll deep dive into Advanced API security. In today's digital world, APIs are becoming one of the most used attack vector out there. We can see here a few public breaches related to API security like Tinder and Uber. A recent one is the Optus breach. To those who are not familiar, Optus is Australia's second largest telco, and they had a very big breach around the end of 2022, which is related to API security. Why are we seeing so many attacks related to API security? Well, APIs are so popular because they allow access to data, digital assets, and business logic. They are the facade to so many transactions in the digital world. It should be no surprise that APIs power almost everything in our modern world. Every website, every mobile app, and particularly every digital interaction is done through APIs. Think of any of the following: accessing school records, whether for yourself or your children, accessing your bank account, doing various transactions there, ordering your favorite coffee via your mobile app, or reviewing your latest blood work in your health service provider app. All of these are powered by APIs. APIs are mission critical and should be treated as such. Teams of architects dedicate their attention to getting this stuff right, making sure all the connections are correct, that their APIs are reliable, and they are maintained appropriately. It's not an easy task. To add to that difficulty, there is often friction between the developers and the security architects. Rules are rules, and rules should be followed, but not everyone does. It's not uncommon for developers to bypass the security process because it's easier or just faster. But this is precisely how API vulnerabilities happen. Further, organizations operate across scattered environments, and these environments are almost never the same. Tools for one cloud are different from the tools for the next. And rules may change depending on what data is accessed, which users need the data, and what apps they use to access it. All that to say, this combination can create the perfect storm that leads to possibly one of the largest enterprise attack vectors. The customers we work with are inherently different. They have different use cases, different requirements, and they are at different stages of their digital transformation. Some of them have only a handful of critical APIs, whereas others have thousands of APIs. In this 2023 report, they found out that large organizations have 450 APIs on average. Sounds not too much, right? I can tell you that the big businesses I talk to have much more than that, in the thousands. APIs provide agility, faster go-to-market, and accelerate the value creation. They also allow partners to interact with large force multipliers. As the industry focuses more on machine learning-based automations, IoTs, and LLMs, APIs are naturally growing with it. Why is it so hard to protect APIs? First, many reports show that more than half of the enterprise's APIs will be unmanaged in the future. Managing APIs allows you to apply the right security controls. If they are not managed, you cannot do that. Next, in a recent research we conducted, we learned that 40% of the enterprises worry mostly about misconfigured APIs. This also aligns with different reports out there that state that many public cloud breaches occur due to misconfigured APIs. Attacks are very painful. In 2022, the average cost of a cybersecurity attack was around $4.35 million, according to this report. Lastly, acting on breaches is complicated. What are the right tools and action needed to be done when a security incident is happening? Many of you might ask, why Apigee? Well, Apigee's mission is to organize the world's APIs. The API management platform provides a facade to your APIs, which means that the interface is decoupled from the backend implementation. It can support all your APIs, wherever they reside, or any use case in any scale. We provide strong analytics tool to help operate, govern, and monetize the APIs. And we are here to address developers, leaders, and security architects' needs together on the platform to bridge and streamline the jobs they need to accomplish and to foster a more collaborative work environment. To holistically secure your APIs, you will need an integrated platform to serve the different requirements and compliance needs. Google brings the best of API management to secure your APIs, whether that means easy to use, out of the box policies for authorization or rate limiting, detecting bad inputs and payloads for your APIs, or protecting from the distributed denial of service attacks. Having a set of tools at your disposal is great, but having an integrated set of tools that plays well together is a game changer. Apigee also allows for seamless integration to Google Cloud's security products, well-known ones like Cloud Armor, Mandiant, Chronicle, and reCAPTCHA. But Apigee doesn't stop here. Apigee provides the protection you need to defend your APIs using advanced API security. You can gain insights into your security configuration and ensure a uniform security policy, detect attacks using combination of rule-based detection rules and advanced machine learning models, and take actions on the attacks with different ways for prevention and notification. All of this with the built-in system powered by Gemini to make it even easier to understand and set up. Let's start with how to ensure consistent standards across your APIs. The problem here is how to apply consistent security standard to avoid misconfigured API proxies that might lead to security leaks. In risk assessment, we are focused on providing the user visibility and control to their API security configurations. We do that in order to eliminate any blind spots and let you know how your APIs are secure. This could help you identify any issues that might pose risk to your environment and help comply with internal and external compliance requirements. With risk assessment, customers would be able to adhere their API proxies to security standards. They will know if an API is deployed without the right security policies and will get the recommended actions from the system how they can fix it. Advanced API security employs a scoring system to generate a security score that is associated with the API configuration settings. This security score offers a measure of your API security robustness and stability, assisting in identifying potential improvements. The system continuously monitors the API proxy and provides a set of recommendations. In this video, I'm going to show you how to understand the risk assessment feature in Advanced API Security. You can see all my environments, their risk level and security score, their total number of recommendations, and the profile that was used in order to evaluate and create the security score. So just before we drill down into that information, let me show you what are the security profiles. So a security profile is a set of policies that you want your API proxies to adhere to. So here you can configure exactly what security categories should be included in the profile in order to reflect the security posture of your API proxies and environments. Let's jump back into my environment settings. And you can see, again, the different environments that they have and their security scores. Let's look at environment 2. When we drill down into the environment, I can see here 3 types of assessments: score assessment, proxy assessment, and target assessment. Each one focuses on different aspects of security. For example, the proxy assessment focuses on the security policies that are applied to the proxies, to the different proxies. Here you can see that I have 17 proxies that have a severe risk level, which means that they are misconfigured compared to the profile, and that might possess some risk to those API proxies. So I can also drill down into that information. And again, here I can see exactly the information about the assessment, what kind of categories are part of that assessment. And I can see the list of all my API proxies, the risk level, the security scores, and also the recommended actions. When I click on them, I can see on the right side a list of recommended actions, of recommended policies that could be put in place on those API proxies in order to improve the security posture. I can also jump into the proxy directly and edit it and add the recommendations, the recommended security policies. Now that you made sure your APIs are configured correctly, let's see how advanced API security can help you to detect any suspicious activity in your API traffic. How do you know if your APIs are being used as intentional? Maybe they are being abused by attackers. With advanced API security, you can detect automated suspicious tools that are accessing your APIs. We have a set of rules and machine learning models to help detect scraping, broad guesser, auth abuser, for example, or anomalies in your traffic patterns. We have in product close to real-time dashboards to show you the attack landscape, where we cluster the detected traffic into incident to reduce the volume of alerts and help the user focus on the most critical and timely incidents. We have machine learning models dedicated to identify scraping activity and anomalies. We are continuously improving them and adding more models and use cases. These are Google-owned models that we use in-house for several years now to protect our own APIs. In this video, I'm going to show how you can analyze and identify if any suspicious activity is happening in your environment. So again, we can see here in Advanced API Security UI, I can see a list of my environments, and I can see the total incidents that were found for each environment. For example, for environment 1, the system found 3 incidents with the moderate risk level. I can jump into environment 1 and see both the archived and the non-archived incidents, so I can drill down and investigate them. So, for example, the first incident I see here is a multi-type attack targeting a few API proxies from a few countries via the simulator app. I can also see the risk level is moderate. I can see the detection rules that were part of this attack, which is advanced anomaly detection and the auth abuser. And I can also see the number of API calls that were a part of this incident. I can drill down into the incident to get more information. So for example, I can see that 6 proxies were impacted by the incident. I can see the pattern across time of the API calls. I can see the countries that were triggered the API calls as part of this incident. And I can drill down into the different attributes. So here I can see, for example, what developer apps were part of this incident, which is the simulator app and the auth. I can also see the different IPs that were part of this incident. I can see a lot of information about them. like the API calls that they triggered, the percent of the traffic, the timeline. I can see the different proxies, the response code, the target URLs. I can see a lot of information that will help me decide whether this is legitimate behavior, or maybe something suspicious that needs my attention. Now I want to jump into the detected traffic. So the relationship between the detected traffic and the incidents is the detected traffic is kind of the raw data that we are clustering in order to create incidents. And the idea behind the incidents is to really reduce the volume of alerts in order to help the user expedite their investigation. But the detected traffic is the raw data and can provide more information. So, for example, I can see that 53% of the traffic was detected as suspicious. This originated from 5 IPs. I can see the IPs. I can see the top app key that they were using. I can see again, the detected rules that they triggered, the top URLs that that they have used, and a lot more information about the traffic itself. All of this come to help you understand your attack landscape, how your APIs are being accessed, and if advanced API security detect any suspicious activity within the API traffic. We also have powerful reporting capabilities, so you can slice and dice the information as you see fit according to your understanding. It's highly customable, and you can also access these through APIs if you want to consume this in other systems like the SIEM that you're using. In this slide, we can see how easy it is to create a profile and then view it in the UI. I used a number of dimensions so I can, slice and dice and look at different aspects or different point of views in the abuse traffic. I can see which API proxy was targeted, what kind of abuse was used, what kind of IPs were part of it. I can see the traffic patterns. And all of that can give me more understanding of the attack landscape and how my APIs are being accessed. Lastly, how do you take action on detected abuse in Apigee? Well, because we have the privilege of being part of the API management platform and we're closely coupled with the runtime, we can also offer that functionality. You can now take actions on detected abuse, whether you want to flag, deny, or redirect the traffic. With a few clicks, you can set those actions in your environment on specific proxies with specific conditions and get the visibility you need using in-product dashboards. Now I'm going to show you how to create an action in the system. And the action that I'm going to demo is how to flag a traffic that had been detected by the ML scraper. So I'm giving it a name, right? Flag scraper. Of course, I can add a description. I am choosing one of the environments. Let's choose environment not one. I'll choose it to never to expire. Now I'm going to flag the information. Flagging means that the system will add a header name and header value to each API call that is detected by the condition. So I'm choosing Apigee scraper as the header name. I'll use the header value as ML scraping. And then I'm going to choose the condition. So here you can see that I have different conditions that I can use in order to detect and trigger this action. Specifically here, I'm going to use the detection rule, which is the advanced API scraper. Of course, you can see I have the other rules as well. I can also correlate between the different conditions that I have here. But for now, I'll just choose this one condition. I'll create that action. We'll soon see it in the dashboard as active. Of course, I can always at any point I can disable or pause that action. But basically, it's with a matter of minutes. This will be applied to all my runtime in Apogee. So you can see here now that I have my flag scraping action. I can also drill down into it in order to get more information about it. Currently, of course, I just created that action, so all information here is empty. But once, with time, once there will be more traffic and more detected traffic and flag traffic, we'll be able to see those patterns of this information here. Of course, on the right side, you can also see the action details, like the expiration time, the flag header, and the conditions. Last thing I want to mention is that you are able to get notified on any activity or changes that happen in Advanced API Security. We are integrated with cloud monitoring, so you can create any notification you would like to get, such as getting an email if a score of a proxy drops, which could mean of a misconfigured API proxy, or get a text message if a spike of abuse is happening on your environment. Because we're integrated into cloud monitoring, you can also enjoy all the features that cloud monitoring provides, such as dashboards. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a notification in Advanced API Security. So what you currently see is the cloud monitoring dashboard, right? You can see that I'm in alerting, and you can see that I don't have any policies in place. I'm going to create a new policy. For that, I'm going to choose a metric. You can see that I have different metrics for Apogee. I'm going to choose the Apogee API Security Profile Environment Association. The reason is that I want to create a notification in case of an API proxy security score drops under a certain threshold that might indicate of a misconfigured API proxy. So here again, I'm going to choose the security score of Apogee API proxy metrics. Here you can see more information. I'm just choosing the default settings. I'm using the threshold position below a threshold. So if the score drops under a specific threshold, I will be notified. I'm choosing the 600 threshold. I'm clicking next. And the way that the notification works is it's using the notification channels. So you can see here, there's PagerDuty integration, Slack, webhooks, email. I'm going to choose an email notification to myself. I want to be notified in the case the incident was closed. I can choose the severity level. I choose this critical. I can add any information to the body of the email that I will get. Of course, I need to give it a name. So I chose Apogee Security Drop Misconfiguration because it will indicate on a misconfigured API proxy. And that's it. I created my alert policy, which means that now I'll be notified if any API proxy a security score drops under a certain threshold, under the 600 threshold. I can go back into the alerting screen and I can see that I have this new policy in place. And that's it. I'm all set up. If something changes on Advanced API Security, I will be notified. If you want to further learn about the product, you can use these links. And now you can also try it as part of Apogee Pay-as-you-go consumption model. Thank you for your time.